All right, welcome you guys. I am so excited for tonight's first ever, first of many to come manifesting event with my dear friend and thriver. What do I like to say? Partner in thriving? Sure, why not? Ashley Carton, many of you may know her from our monthly sound baths and meditations. Um, like I was previously mentioning before, I was chatting with someone and they mentioned that they see a lot going on, people talking about manifesting, and there should be a class on it. So I figured let's have our own class. So I'm so excited to do this. It is a full moon tonight, the first full moon of summer. Last night was the pink moon. And so this just feels right to do this right now. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Ashley. Ashley's going to talk a little bit more about what tonight is, what to expect, and who she is. So, Ashley, it is all you now.
Hey, hey, hi everyone. So good to see you. Super excited to be with you for this next 45 minutes while we learn about manifesting and try some things out. I'm going to move along at a little bit of a faster clip so that we have plenty of time to do some thinking together and sharing. Thank you, Kelly, for hosting this space. It was so fun. She's like, let's do something around manifesting. I'm like, say less. Let's go. So this is great. First of all, I'm going to introduce a little bit about me. As Kelly had mentioned, I am also a TNBC thriver. I am in my second year of survivorship. I was diagnosed in February of 23. In August, it'll be my 2-year cancer-free versary. So I'm doing great and just went to the oncologist and they were like, yeah, go girl. So things are going well. Thank you for all the love. We know, we're just, I finally can do like a messy bun situation, which we know the hair milestones are big, right? So Megan, I'm checking out your beautiful curls. I'm very proud. This is epic. Yes. Lots of hair celebrations in this group. We deserve it. Yeah. Um, so that's all to say. Yes. So triple negative as well. Underwent chemo and did a double mastectomy in August of 23. I opted for reconstruction of December of 23, and so far so good. I am a professor by day and a sound bath practitioner by night and weekends, and it's just been such a joy and honor to bring it to our communities for as long as you need me or want me. I'll keep showing up and ding those bowls and bring you manifestations. Um, so with that, I'm just super excited to give you some 101 manifesting sort of like a starting place. So this is a very basic starting place for us together. So whether or not you're new to manifesting or if you've done it your whole life, this will just be a nice kind of starter event. And then we can decide if we want to go in a little bit further and yeah, ding those balls. So we can kind of see where we want to go from here. But tonight is basic and hopefully super accessible. So with that, I'm going to pop a link in for you here. To accompany our event tonight, we've created a participant guide for you. So you're welcome to click on that. And if you would like to type right into it, you'll see there's blue text. It'll show you that you can right click the file tab and then click make a copy. And you can save that on your computer and you can type right into it and you can save that for yourself. If you just want to have it up and write in a journal, that's okay too, or you can just think about it. But that will be something that accompanies our work tonight. Thanks. All right, so as you grab that, we're going to also take a second to ground ourselves, and then we'll talk a little bit about what manifesting is and what it is not. So as you grab your Manifestation 101 participant guide, go ahead and come back over here, and we're just going to really quickly drop into this space, make sure our brains are here and we're all present, because I know we can be thinking about things going on around us or on the other side of the computer. So go ahead and come on back. And if you want, I would recommend holding your hand to your chest, maybe your heart and your belly. Close your eyes for one quick second. And just take 3 nice, deep, cleansing, grounding breaths in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And with each breath, bring ourselves back to the present, ready to learn and grow. Beautiful. So we're going to start out with a real whammy. Why are you here? What are you wanting to manifest? What do you want to call in? Today is a profound day, powerful day with the moon. What are you doing here? What do you want to learn? What do you want to call in? So we're going to take 2 minutes really quickly. You're welcome to either think about it, write it in your guide on your computer, or just journal about it on a piece of paper near you. But take 1 to 2 minutes and think about, what is it that you are calling in, manifesting right now? Why does it matter to you? And as an optional share, we would love for you to drop something in the chat about what you're calling in, what you're hoping to do together today, and why that matters to you. And you can be as vulnerable as you'd like. You can keep it basic, or you can share kind of the full scope of what you're thinking about. But drop those in the chat and let's see what folks are thinking about. Yay. I love these. So while you're thinking and dropping some of your thoughts into the chat, I'm going to share a little bit about manifestation in terms of what it is and what it is not. Again, these are sort of my understandings and sort of kind of common principles in terms of manifesting. But again, this is just one viewpoint, and there's multitudes of others. So for me, and in my studies and the work that I do, um, manifestation is not wishful thinking. It is not something that is rooted in toxic positivity. It is not something where you're just trying to wish something to be. It is actually a co-creation with the universe that's deeply rooted in belief, alignment, and trust, which are very challenging at times. So we're going to learn a little bit about some of the key things, like the key ingredients for manifesting and how to bring them in. So it's not about just wishful thinking. There's also so many different ways to manifest and bring our desires into our 3D space, into the reality. And so there's ways that we might do that with visualizing, with journaling. We're going to do some of them today. Like I said, this is just very basic, but there's a lot of different ways to manifest, but there are some basic principles to call it in.
And I just want
And
to add in there again, you can manifest something for yourself, like an opportunity, another job, maybe speaking at a cancer conference, and say it doesn't work out this year. That doesn't mean it's ever not going to work out. And maybe it's not right now. Maybe it's right next year or 2 years from now. So that's the power in manifesting, knowing that it's if you get told a no, it's a no for right now, not a no forever.
that's right. Thank you, Kelly. It and it goes back to what you said earlier. When you're manifesting, what is meant for you will never pass you by. If you are in alignment and you really feel strongly about this is my belief, this is what I want, this is what I need, and you release it and you trust that it's coming in, it will come in and everything will be working out for you, not to you. And it will come in the time that it needs. It will never be early and it will never be late, and nothing that is meant for you will pass you by. So, with manifesting, similar to what Kelly was saying, this is not about toxic positivity, pretending to be happy all the time. You don't have to be in this high vibrational fake space. You can have your rough days. It's not about that. And it's also not about scripting obsessively, or, and most importantly, it's not about controlling the outcome. But what it is about is clarity, your energy, and your trust. So we're going to practice that. We're going to talk a little bit more about those pieces and see what that means for us. So let's talk a little bit about embodiment and energy. So imagine that you got a phone call today and the bank said, you have received a 20,000 or pick a number, $100,000 check, and it is being deposited in your checking account, and it's going to take 7 to 10 business days for that gigantic sum of money to land into your account where you can then withdraw and use it towards things, right? How would you move through the rest of your day knowing that that money was going to hit your bank account and that you'll be able to use it in 7 to 10 business days? How would you move through the day? How would you act? How would you speak?
You're floating.
You're what?
Floating.
Oh my gosh, you would be floating, right? How would you breathe? What choices would you make? That is the key principle in manifesting. You need to be very clear on what it is that you want. You need to be hyper specific about what you want. Then you need to put that out in the world. And the key part is you need to trust it is on its way, just as though that same principle of that money that's in the bank coming in 7 to 10 business days. You need to go, this is what I want. I have a firm belief it's happening. I'm letting it go. I'm releasing the outcome, and I know it is on its way. Done. That is how we call it in. When things get fuzzy is when we don't fully believe with our whole heart and body that that's actually going to happen. We can say it, but if we truly don't believe it, our signal gets a little hazy. We can't call it in because the universe is like, wait, do you want this? I can't. If you don't believe it, it's not coming. So that's one of the key things is you need to be fully confident and practically delusional that it is done, right? What is it that I want? Get clear on it. You need to believe it. You need to be confidently delusional it is happening. You need to be 100% sure it's coming in. You need to trust it's on the way, and then you got to let it go. These are not simple things to do though in practice, but those are the core principles of manifesting. So we're going to think about what that might feel like for us. Okay, I'm going to lead a short embodiment practice where we're going to feel what that feels like. Okay, so take a moment and I want you to close your eyes. I want you to think about what you wrote about in your chat, the thing that you're considering as what it is you want to manifest. What are you calling in? What are you manifesting right now? I want you to think about visualizing that moment in time of that thing that you're wanting. I know a couple of you mentioned moving, buying homes. Picture what it feels like to get the news that you've purchased that home or you're walking into that home. What does the version of you that's walking into that new home feel like in your body? In your mind, walk around knowing that this is your property, this is your home. How would you show up as the person in that new space, knowing it's yours and it's done?
I think much of manifestation, but also our how we act day to day. Like you said, we're going to have like $1 million in our bank account. How would we act? How would you walk? How would you interact with people? It all boils down to um what do I want to say? Like knowing that like you it's out of your control, right?
Right?
When we get angry with someone or something went wrong or we're trying to control a situation that is truly not controllable, when you let go and just, see what happens and just, it's like throwing a frisbee and seeing if it comes back to you. Like once you release that control, this is what I'm asking for. I'm asking for a potential new house or I have a house that I really like. Maybe it'll be that one. I will tell you right now, like we put an offer in and I'm not anxious. It's very, very strange. I'm like the most anxious person you ever meet because I'm like it's out of my control. And if it works out, great. So I think much of this, and I get it, easier said than done sometimes, but it's about control. And yes, like whatever will be.
That's 100% right. And that's the thing is we have to show up as that person. If we are perpetually in a state of desiring it or wanting it, then the universe says, more of that, please. So if you're like, I want this thing, then you just stay in a cycle of want. The universe shows up as how you do. But if you act as if you already have it, the universe goes, done, it's here, it's yours. Because you're already acting as though it's happened, not that you're in a state of desire. When we sit in a state of desire, the universe just gives us more of the spinning. We have to act as if it's here and it is done. And we have to it's not just sitting and waiting as well, right? There is real action we take in our lives. We have to we have to go show up and check out the houses. We have to put in the bids. There are action steps we have to take in order to get closer to our dreams as well. We don't just sit in the corner and expect the universe to drop it in our lap. We have to show up as that person who has the thing, who's doing the thing. And even if you're not totally clear about what career you want, or there may be things that you still need to sort out, what pieces of it are true now that you can call in, right? Like, can you envision that you know what that is? And how would you be walking? How would you be moving through the world if you knew what it was and you were doing that thing? you can choose pieces of it that are already true for you, even if you don't know exactly the outcome, but you know the feeling of, if I'm in my purpose, if I'm feeling aligned and I'm doing the thing that I love, this is what I would be feeling like. This is the alignment I would be noticing. This is how I would be moving through my day, knowing that I'm on that path clearly. And then here's the hard part. We have to let it go. We got to let go of the wheel, because oftentimes our own brains create a picture of how it's supposed to show up, and it almost never shows up in the way we want, but it always shows up in the time we need and in the way we need it. It happens to us and it happens for us, but we don't always get to choose how it shows up. And the other thing is, sometimes we're looking so intently at one direction, we miss the entire gift that we've been given because it didn't look the way that we expected it to look. And the universe is like, here you go on a silver platter. You're like, but that's not exactly what I pictured. You're like,
Or
yet
you
it's
can go
here.
through something really hard and really challenging and have to really rethink your path and real and there's going to be tears and pain and heartache and maybe some pimples along the way, and you realize that formed a new path, and that heartache ended up being the best thing for you, but you needed to experience that heartache to finally walk your path and walk where you're supposed to be. I'm listening to you, Ashley, and I'm thinking about, I have gone to the Miami Breast Cancer Conference for many years, and they would have various, they have a bunch of doctors there, and they would have various like survivors either on a panel or whatever. And I always wanted to support in some way. And I would email and email, if anyone's looking for anyone, and goose egg, goose egg, goose egg. And then in 2023, I got an opportunity to not only be their guest and their faculty that year, but 2023 was a really special year for me. That was my fifth year. I was 5 years out from my diagnosis. And not only majority of patients that go there, they have a patient keynote. That's not what I did. So I got to be on stage with another doctor that gave me, we did a Q&A, and our segment was required of these oncologists to attend, and they had to like listen, and it was like the top oncologist in the country, and it was like such a special moment for me. But that shows that like all those other years I wanted to do it, like it's not the right time. It's not your time yet. It's not your time yet. And like when it is your time, you will realize that like fifth year, that's the year all of us TNBC babes like look forward to. And it made that year in that conference just so much more special for me because it took then, but I manifested that for many years.
It's incredible. And it's such a clear example that you have to believe it. You need to know it's coming in, and you need to know it's always on time. It's always on time. So, shall we be confidently delusional together and do some journaling around what the heck we want and call that sucker in?
Yes,
Let's
Queen.
do it. Let's do it. Okay. So, here's our four-step framework, what we've talked about. You need to be super clear about what you want, right? Clarity is essential. Then you need to figure out, what beliefs do I need to hold in order to make this come true? You can't be waffling in your head. You can't be like, do I really believe that? Nope. It has to be solid, and it has to be clear and confident, and you have to believe it with every fiber of your being. So, whatever it is, you have to be able to believe it and make it true. So, don't pick something that doesn't feel true in your body. Pick a statement and a belief that you can lean into and it feels 100% true to you. Then what actions, right? Clarity, belief, actions. What actions am I taking to show up as that person already now? Not in a state of want or desire, but a state of being that person now. And then lastly, surrender. How do I let it go? And how do I just release it for this week? All right. So that's the 4-step framework we're going to use. And we have some journaling prompts that we're going to spend some time thinking through together. So if you go back to your manifestation participant guide, I'm going to pop them in the chat here as well. Here are the 4 questions that we're going to spend a few minutes thinking about. We'll take a few minutes to share as well. I'm going to take my AirPods out and put on some calm music for us to do some writing. So is there a question around, do you have any questions around the prompts or anything that might help clarify before we do our journaling about this for ourselves? All right. So again, you can think about it in your mind. You can write it down on a piece of paper. You can write it right into the participant guide. Think back to what you wanted to manifest and what you talked about earlier today. Or if you want, if there's a new manifestation that is calling to you more, pick that. And then think about what beliefs do I need to hold in order to receive that? What aligned action can I take? What can I thank the universe for in advance? And you can even write that down. And what's my intuition telling me about my next step? All right, so take 5 minutes, do some journaling. I'll put some music on for us, and then we'll chat. Thank you, Kelly, for dropping in your affirmation. I am divinely protected, and what is meant for me will find me. Yes, yes, yes. Let's take just a couple quick minutes and maybe we can pause the recording and have a couple people share. And this can be, let's wrap. I don't, yay. Let's wrap up and then that way we can get you out to your relaxing evening. This is so much fun. I feel like we need to do more of these. Okay, so another key piece of this is gratitude. Gratitude is really hard sometimes, especially when we're, depending on what it is, it's sometimes nearly impossible to feel the gratitude. But this is where, when if you're really wanting to call something in, you have to really believe it's on its way, it is done, you are delusionally confident it's happening, and then you need to be able to be in a position where you can experience gratitude for the thing that's already happening. And I know that that sounds wild, but that's how it works. It comes in when you are that. So you have to say things like, and you can even write it down, you can journal. However you want to do it, you can say it in the morning in the shower. You can talk to yourself while you're driving. You can journal about it. However it works for you, right? You can talk about it to yourself when you're on your walk. You are saying thank you for the things that you've called in. So, for example, for Kelly, for your house, you can be like, thank you, universe, for showing me, like, for getting me, like, the house that I love so much that I get to enjoy every morning. That I thank you, universe, for the backyard where I get to go out and have my coffee exactly in the place that I always dreamed of. Thank you, universe, for allowing that bid to go through so smoothly that there were no issues. It's done. It's done, right? So gratitude is a key part of calling it in. And that may seem strange and really hard to do when you don't have the thing, but that's a puzzle piece that we have to be grateful for the thing that's coming in, right? We have to be grateful for the $100,000 check that's clearing soon. It's coming. It's done, right? And change your password so it has to do with your manifestation. Yes. Yes.
Well, it
Again,
worked. It worked.
heck
I met
yes.
my husband. We've been married 3 years in September. Sorry, I'm done. But I swear to God, I had dream job, or I was like soulmate, whatever year, and I've done it with like dream job and stuff. I'm saying this, believe it or not, wait, just try it. It works. It's creepy.
That's exactly it.
Do it.
So that's
Yeah. House this
100%.
year. Yeah.
Yes, house this year. That's part of it is repetition matters. You have to believe it. It has to be done and do it do it in a way that you allow yourself to access that over and over again. Just like the password. Think about how many times you got to think about it and call that in, right? So it has to be not like a one and done. It has to be something that you're really calling in and that you have sort of a ritual around. So make sure the repetition matters, right? The password is a brilliant idea and exactly the point of like, there's a lot of ways to do it. Make it work for you, right? But those are the key principles. All right. So, lastly, we're just going to take a moment to formally close. This has been so much fun. But just as a next step, you don't have to write it down or talk about it right now. But while you're working on your manifestations this week, thank you, Kristen. What is one thing, and just think about it, right? How are you going to take your manifestation and how are you going to show up and and be confidently delusional that it's on its way? How are you going to show up tomorrow morning? What actions are you going to take tonight, knowing it's done, right? So just leave, and as you're kind of thinking about that this evening, think about that as your next step about how can you call this in and how can you show up as that person knowing it's already on the way. Kelly, I'm going to pass it on to you so that you can close this out, my love.
Well, I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. This was really amazing. And we clearly need to do more of this because this was really, really awesome. Um, I couldn't be here and do this without you guys, and but more importantly, I couldn't be manifesting here if it wasn't for Ashley. Ashley is so amazing. Like you heard her say, she is a 2-year TNBC Thriver. She leads our amazing monthly sound baths and meditation, completely free. You're welcome to send the link to a friend. We just want to help as many people as possible that just needs healing and light. And life is heavy these days, right? Whether you're going through cancer, you're navigating survivorship, everybody's got something. And so we try to make it a little bit lighter, a little more fun, making triple negative breast cancer feel a little less lonely, as I like to say here at TNBC Thrivers. And so please feel free to check out our website, tnbcthrivers.org. I'm sure you all have it favorited on your laptops. Um, Ashley, we will have the whole schedule up there. Of course, follow TNBC Thrivers on Instagram, Facebook. We also have a Facebook group. So if you want to like join and ask questions or talk with other people that you've seen on social media, that's there on Facebook. Um, I'm going to give it back to Ashley. Ashley is absolutely amazing. She has when she's not being a fancy professor, teaching the future in Colorado, she has a side business which is Heal with Ashley, and she does many in person. If any of you guys are local to the Boulder, Colorado area, she also does virtual. And she has something going on with our mutual friend Bethany. So I'm going to let Ashley talk a little bit about how you can get connected with her and what she's got going on.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kelly. And Kristen, that's so great. Yeah, Fort Collins. I love FOCO. Yay. All right. So, real quick, so I can let you get on with your evening. Kelly, it's always such an honor to do this work with you. This is deeply healing for me, and I hope that this gave you just the bare bones basics of the principles of calling that shit in. And I know you can, and I want to hear from you and let me know when your manifestations drop because they're coming in hot. Um, healwithashley.com is my website. It is where you can find all of my events. Like Kelly said, I do in-person events, but I also do a lot of virtual ones. I do have one coming up next week with our friend Bethany, as Kelly mentioned. Would love for you to join. It's for cancer survivors. You can find out more information on my website there. And then there's all sorts of other things. You can sign up for the newsletter. I don't spam you, so any sort of upcoming events I share with you. And like I said, some are in person and some are virtual. So if you would like a little bit more of this, definitely join us for the TNBC Thrivers events. And if you'd like to see more of the manifesting sequence, or if we want to go a little bit deeper or do different things, let us know. We can dream some fun stuff up. It's just the beginning. But healwithashley.com is a great way to start if you are curious about a little bit more about me, a way to get access to socials or upcoming events. So I hope to see you over there and reach out if you have any questions along the way. It's been
And as always, if you guys would like to see any type of programming, let me know and I will make it happen. If you'd like to share your story or anything like that, you know where to find me. Send me a message, send me an email, and I'm happy to do it. I also have a newsletter, and I try to remember to send it out. I only send it out once a month, and I try to send out the reminders when I'm not either selling a car, buying a car, selling a house, buying a house. So life is lifing, but I am grateful for this life and to be here tonight manifesting with all of you and our next chapters and what's to come. And I know just wonderful things are happening. And so thank you guys for joining. I look forward to doing this again very, very soon. And I hope to see you at Thriver Thursday chat. Thank you, everyone.
good
Thank
night,
you.
everybody. Sending you love. Go manifest.